Hear
This
me?
conference will now be recorded.
If it cuts out and you can't hear me, um, type in the chat because something's wrong with my internet. It keeps on going back and forth. So I tell all my
Okay.
students, okay.
You've
So
been fine so far, though. Okay.
I'm about to share my screen here.
Okay. Matter of fact, I can hang this up.
Alrighty. And here we go. So I was saying I was going to be talking about markets.
Mhm.
All right. And when you look at markets, because you have a box truck, right? So you
Mhm.
look at markets and you have to know your markets everywhere you go. Okay. Everywhere,
Mhm.
everywhere your truck goes, you're gonna have to know that market. You're gonna have to know if you can get a backhaul. You got to know the rates. You got to know the weather. You got to know a lot of things.
Okay.
Okay. You got to like all the stuff because knowing the market, it basically builds value for yourself and it builds value, helping your driver get to and from where he needs to go.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to, DOT, speed traps, when it comes to mobile mechanics.
Mhm.
These are things that you can build along the way. If you're sending someone, if you got a truck in Atlanta right now, be like, okay, well, let me do some research in Atlanta. Let me look for a mobile mechanic in Atlanta. So just in case something happens, I have a mobile mechanic in Atlanta I can call. Instead of something happening and the next day you got to look on Google to find something.
Mm.
Because you're
Okay.
like, you're going to realize that you're not, I hate the word dispatcher, but you're actually a carrier manager. You is managing
Mm.
these carriers. You're managing
Yeah.
their business, their
Yeah.
trucks, their profit, their paperwork.
Yep.
You are more than that. The more you know, the more you grow. But just because you know it's not what you know that builds your value. You want to know everything, but it's really not what you know that builds your value. It's who you become that builds
mm.
your value. Because
Okay.
you're gonna become someone that's reliable. You're gonna become someone that knows what to do. You're gonna
Mhm.
become someone that knows how to handle every situation.
Right.
So
Well,
when you
my
know,
my carrier now is he's put me through a lot already just because we both learn it and it's actually probably not a good thing, but it's kind of funny because I said to him, I think by the time we're done, we're gonna know everything there is to do.
yeah, and see, I teach you that as well. Because here you are, you got a new carrier.
Mhm.
So basically, it's the blind leading the blind.
Leading the blind, right?
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But wouldn't it be good where if you got the proper training to know how to lead him, because you know how to run his truck and what his truck needs to do, you can know that what kind of compliances that he needs.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what markets he needs to be in. You
Okay.
get that proper training, you're gonna know that. Cause then when you pick talking to him about booking low. You're talking to him about IRP. You're talking to him about TWIC if he has a TWIC card. You're talking to him
Mhm.
about what kind of insurance he has. Who's his factoring company? Oh, you don't have a factoring company? Okay, well, I can help you out with that.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm freezing.
Yeah, so I got the point to where you were saying you're talking to him about if he has a TWIC card or
Okay,
factoring company or insurance. But
okay.
prior to that, you were frozen.
Ooh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
My screen was frozen or like you didn't hear me.
Your voice, I didn't hear you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, your
So
screen hasn't moved.
what I was saying is we have to know the markets because
Mhm.
when you know the markets, you build value. Okay. And then also when you get the information to help them, then you can basically build your value to talk to him other than saying I can book you a load.
Gotcha.
You could take the conversation a whole nother level.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Talk about his
Yep.
maintenance with the truck. So you know how long you had the truck because you're gonna have to know that. What kind of truck you got? Okay,
Mhm.
cool. You know what I mean? Ask the question so you basically can know. But when
Okay.
you know it, it helps you better to talk about the markets to them as well because
Okay.
you're gonna know the markets. All right.
Mhm.
You see that Midwest?
Yes.
Okay. So like I was saying, in the Midwest. You're gonna have a lot of good reefer loads. They got box truck loads there too, expedited freight, coming from Michigan, going to Indiana, going to Wisconsin, you know. But the Midwest area is the prime area.
Mm. Does
It's the
that
prime.
change it? Does that
Uh,
change? Does that
no,
change?
that's not gonna ever change.
Okay. So Midwest is the place to go.
Midwest is a prime area, especially for box trucks.
Okay.
You get a box truck up in the Midwest, you might as well just keep them up there, you know. Just
Mhm.
keep them up there. Create a triangle,
Now
but you're gonna have.
what
Go ahead,
makes the Midwest the prime area?
because that's where most of your shippers and your businesses and everybody's doing things. That's shipping.
Okay.
You got your ports right there in Chicago, right there in
Mhm.
that, right there in that panhandle, right here.
Yeah. Mhm.
You have that.
Okay.
You got these ports. See, when you this is where you got to this is where you got to get better every day is paying attention to your craft. You're in transportation. There's something talking about transportation all the time.
Correct.
There's always talking about transportation all the time. So now you like, all right, cool. Well, let me look into these porch things. That's what I did. 60 Minutes came on. I'm watching football. And right after the football goes off, 60 Minutes come on and say, hey, the ticker come on, and next day, I look. They talking about containers. They talking about the shipping. They talking about how everything's
Mhm.
backed up. What?
Yep.
Let me look at this. You know, but you research. You're every day that you're working with transportation, you're doing research.
Right.
You're retaining information. So when you know the Midwest, you know what I mean? Think of the Midwest as like the gold mine right there.
Okay.
All right. You got reefer loads, van loads, box truck loads. They have good rates. You have some tolls. You have to worry about the weather, but know it.
Okay.
Just know it.
Okay.
right? Same thing. Because you're going to always treat each market different. You're going to treat them different. You're going to
Okay.
hear a lot of people, a lot of carriers talk about, man, if they ain't from the Northeast, guess what? They ain't driving the Northeast.
Right.
They ain't driving up there. No, I don't do that. Nah, man, I don't know why you booked me to load that. Man, nah, I ain't doing, come on, man. But hey, man, we making 4,700. This work with me.
Right.
We making 4,700. Come on.
See.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
See, I work with a little bit of box trucks, but mainly I work with is the big truck. You
And
know.
that's where I want to get to, but that I really don't know enough about.
See, and I'll teach you about it. I will teach you about it, honey. That's because this is what I feel you have to know as a carrier manager
Mhm.
before you could get into it. Before
So
you
let's
get
just
into
say,
it.
so like just say for the Northeast, um, with the tolls, the traffic, the van loads, the bad parking, when you talk to a broker, do you point out these things when you're trying to
Of,
raise your
of,
rate?
of course,
Okay.
everything that you gotta realize we're fighting for our carriers.
Mhm.
We have to come up with every little way to use to our advantage to get that extra 25 cents per mile.
Mhm.
We got to do that. If we
Right.
don't, we're not doing them no justice.
Okay.
Especially if we don't know what's going on up there.
Right.
What are you doing? What are you doing for? Nothing. Just booking a load. You ain't getting nothing out of it.
Uh, mhm.
You gotta think about four things. You gotta think about four things before you book a load. Cause this is what goes on.
Mhm.
See, I know how to take care of a truck, the maintenance of a truck. What you gotta do weekly.
Mhm.
That's what you're gonna have. That's what you're gonna develop. You gotta pay the truck. You gotta pay the driver. If there's a driver, if the carrier has a driver, he don't drive, then he gotta pay him. But at the end of the day, the company gotta get paid. And guess who's the last of the line? You.
Right.
Because your carrier isn't gonna rob Peter to pay you.
Right.
When you book a load, you do not want to be in a situation where you're booking a load and your carrier can't pay you for that load. Your
Mhm.
carrier's not making money. Your carrier coming up, well, you didn't book the load. It was only $1 amount. Now that's gas.
Right.
That's that's this. Got insurance. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You don't want to be in that situation because that's going to cause a conflict. You got me booking these loads. You ain't gonna pay me. But then next day, at the end of the day, it's your fault.
Yeah. Because you don't have enough to pay you.
It's your fault because you're business partners now.
Mhm.
Just realize that. Realize how much just by them signing an agreement, you became a CEO of his company because you're getting a percentage of every load he does.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's profit, and you don't want to be the liability of a company. You don't want when the numbers come out and he look and like, well, I could have made this, but I'm paying her, and I'm not make when I pay her, I'm not making no money, so I gotta get rid of her. You don't
Right.
want that.
Right.
So that's why we gotta know these. We gotta know these areas. We got to know these areas, and that helps us with negotiation. Because if you tell me that you want me to drive up east, you want me to drive north, depending on where I'm at, you're looking at you're looking at Atlanta, let's just say New York. So that's about 700 miles, 600 miles, or whatever. And you talking about you're gonna pay me 1,000?
Mhm.
Like, hold on, bro. You got tolls up there, you got traffic, and you gotta have HUD.
What's HUD?
Yeah, you see, HUD.
Yeah, I gotta research that. Hold on, let me write.
That's what I teach. That's part of compliance.
Okay.
That's
I
I'm
part of
hate.
going to study tonight. Hi, Keita.
How are you? I hate that I missed out on the first part, but I'm in here now. I'm in
oh
here.
hey, how you doing, Keita?
Y'all doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was just
My
having a
third
more
information
one-on-one.
course, and I think you have the best one so far. And I'm just tuning in, but this is my third one,
Okay.
Oh,
and I
nice.
paid like over $1,000, so that says a lot,
Oh man,
right?
man. Well, what we was going over right now is the markets. We're actually on the third slide. So we were talking about some other stuff, you know, before that. But what I was explaining was, you have to know the markets. Have to know the markets of where you're sending your truck so it can help you better on negotiating. It's going to help you better. Okay.
Okay,
Keita.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm tuning in.
All right. Well, I have this recorded, so I'll send you the link so you can look at the
Oh, thank
first
you. I
part.
plan on staying up all night tonight anyway, cause like it's time. I can't keep putting this off.
Okay.
Perfect time.
So everybody see the screen?
Uh
Yes.
huh.
Okay. All right. So I was explaining about the Northeast where you have tolls, you have traffic, you have your van loads, the bad parking. But where we was at was booking a load going up there, how it can help us with our negotiation. Because if you're telling me I'm going up into the Northeast, then I have to know that area to where I can negotiate better with the broker. So I'm telling him about the tolls. Oh yeah, telling him about the traffic, telling him about, the bad parking. When you want me to deliver, so when you know this area, always think about that. Always think about that area because that's what's going on up there,
Mhm.
you know. When you know each market and you break it down into the regions that they have, and then you start running the areas, then you're basically gonna know it. You're basically gonna know it. Like this one. This one right here, the South. My first thing, good luck with Florida and Texas.
Oh,
Good
they are
luck.
the worst.
Good luck with Florida and Texas. Okay. So now that helps your negotiation as well. Because you have to negotiate a rate that if you're going to go down to Texas, you're going to go down to Florida, you're going to go down anywhere south, anywhere down there. you gotta at least negotiate a rate that if you don't get nothing good coming out, that at least the first load took care of some of
Mhm.
it. At least the first load took care of some. You know what I mean? But see, that's where it comes in as you build every day. Because remember earlier I said you're gonna be learning and researching every day. And one way here, let me throw a gem in there. Every time you look at the load board, every time you look at the load board, use that as a research tool. Just because you're looking for a load for one carrier doesn't mean that on the same area and load board, where you're at, region or state, doesn't mean that you can't use any of that information for any of your other carriers.
Correct.
See, when I put my load board out, okay, because I have a region and you're going to develop that. Okay, as many trucks that you're going to have some trucks in the same area. So when you post a region, like say Dunn, North Carolina, do 300 miles, the deadhead. Put your
Mhm.
deadhead at 300 miles. Are you going to go 300 miles? Hell no.
I think I got it set at 250 right now.
Do 300. Because
Okay.
when you do 300, look, from when you look at it, because you said that you gotta find a load tomorrow in Atlanta. You got a load, you got a load in Dunn, North Carolina. You put Atlanta 300 miles, and you put Dunn 300 miles. I bet you the amount of money they connect.
Mhm.
I bet you the amount of money they connect. And then next
Okay.
day, you look like, let me look at this load. You're gonna see a nice paying load. You be like, damn, I wish I could do that one. But write it down, cause you probably could do it later.
Mhm.
Write down the broker's name. If the broker has a number, write it down. The name, write it down.
Okay.
Let me call them. Let me put them on my broker's list. Build your broker's list. You see a good paying load? Okay, shit. Let me get back to that. I'm gonna call them another time when I have a truck in that area. Put
Mhm.
it on your broker's list. All right?
Mhm.
Build it every day. My broker's list build every day with incoming phone calls and outgoing phone calls.
Nice.
Right? But when you're in the South, you got to know the South. You got to research Texas.
Mhm.
You got to research where you look at Texas, you look at Florida, you look at here. I'm going to give you another gem now. The ports. Remember I was talking about Twick
Mhm.
card. The ports. A lot of
Now,
expedited. Huh?
does the ports usually carry box truck loads? Or they all
Yeah.
containers, right? Oh, they
No, they're
do?
not all containers because when you get with a freight forwarder, what happens is when they're moving the containers, they're moving it to a freight forwarder to where the freight forwarder takes out whatever's in the containers and put them in the
Right.
box trucks and go on.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they break them down.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you get with one of those. I got four freight forwarders that I work with.
Mhm.
And you gotta work it, right?
Mhm.
Gonna be a lot of coast work, you know, going through, coming back. You got one that's a carrier that lives in Memphis, Tennessee. So there's a lot of work around here. Arkansas, going back, Alabama, you know. The,
Mhm.
always research. Always research because you're going to build it anyway. That's what you want to do. You don't want to. You don't want to have to rely on low boards.
Right.
You don't want to have to rely on low board. For what?
I have a quick question. This may or may not be like dead on what you're talking about right now, but I have a quick question.
Okay.
So I'm hearing that January, February, and March is like slow. Do you personally agree with that, or is it more so what you make out of what you have?
Just second. What you said second, honey.
Okay,
What you said second. You don't ever let when you hear people talk about oh it's slow and all this other good stuff. That's like somebody telling you that your dream ain't gonna work.
got you.
It may be slow for you, but it ain't slow for me. How's it gonna be slow? How's it gonna be slow for you if you building your list, you're going through your process, and you building your relationships with your people?
Mhm.
Shit, not me. Hold on. I know who to call. I'm gonna
Mhm.
call Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and
Ricky
Mike.
and Mike.
I'm calling them all.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna call them all. That's what I'm gonna do. Don't tell me ain't nothing slow, cause I didn't build me a list to where I don't need to worry about a load board. If I need something, then I'm gonna basically call. I want to make the phone calls, cause guess what? Looking at the load boards, you're gonna be making the phone calls anyway. You're gonna be making the phone calls anyway. So why not make a phone call to someone you have a personal contact with
Right.
that you did business with before?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Why not? Give me all this new stuff. But here, I'll show y'all. You know, it what does come up? Well, as soon as I open I do this. You always gotta do it backwards, man.
You know
But
these computers have a mind of their own.
hmm but that's what you're basically gonna be, you know, that's what you're basically gonna be doing. So you really don't have to look at the load boards and all that good stuff. When you when you building your list,
Yeah, that's my goal. But a lot of people like saying how the boards are down, and I'm like, well, I mean, if they're down, if you kind of got it worked up, then you wouldn't really have to worry about it. So I feel you. I understand.
so it could go, I wanna pull that up later because I don't want
So Montez,
to.
how many trucks do you manage right now?
Right now I manage 8 trucks.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
I manage 8 trucks,
Okay.
and like it's hard to it was I wouldn't say hard, it's difficult. Okay, it's
Mhm.
difficult because I'm managing 8 trucks. You gotta keep like you're it's like you're gonna be dealing with different personalities.
Yes.
You're gonna be dealing with different personalities.
I deal with
You have
different
to
personalities with the one driver.
Yeah, and I'm talking about different people.
I know,
And
right?
when I say your job is more than a dispatcher, it is you're a psychiatrist, you're an
Mhm.
accountant, you're HR, You probably might be a marriage counselor. You talking to the wife on one end, you talking to the husband, he's driving on the other end, you talking to the broker, and then if you're talking to the carrier, he's probably different. And then sometimes they may be bumping heads, so you don't know what the hell's going on. But only thing you have to do is be calm and try to figure out if we booking a load or not. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So you're gonna have to be in control of your emotions every day until you shut it down. Until you shut it down, you got to be in control of your emotions every day because you're gonna get pissed off. He ain't gonna do this. He's gonna be late. Something didn't happen. The truck didn't came. Truck didn't had a flat tire. You didn't ran out of gas. You didn't got DOT stop. You as soon as you shut it down, then that's when you scream. Take you a
Yeah.
little shot, whatever. That's when you scream. But once you in that mode, you gotta be you gotta be focused
Yeah.
Yeah.
because people's lives is on the line. That's how important you are. People's lives is on the line. And I don't even want to mention hazmat,
Mm.
but I had it up to 17. Lost some,
Truck.
yeah, I had to lost some, had to part ways with some, cause I want consistency.
Mhm.
I want consistency. See, when you build all this value on who you becoming in this industry, and you have this information, and you basically is doing your job, you these carriers, you could pick and choose if you want to work with a carrier or not. You
Mhm.
talk to them.
Yep.
You have to talk. You have to talk to somebody before you get to see if you can work with them.
Right.
That's why they call it a consultation. You know what I mean? Trust me. That's what lawyers. We people go to lawyers, and next day you know, guilty as hell, and they talk to a lawyer, and the lawyer be like, "Oh man, I don't know. Mm-mm. No, you want to what? Look, man, the only thing I could do is, get you second degree murder, whatever. Lawyer's gonna tell you if he could work with you or not. So why can't you tell a carrier if you could work with him or not?
Right.
Especially if he's high demand and got all these things that he wants to do, and you're like, all right, well, I don't, I don't know if we can work together because you got to find out what your niche is, what your strength is. Don't be, don't find out what your strength is. Don't try to find out what something else is without you having the strength to do what you're doing now.
Right.
You can't pick up something here that's why they call it jack of all trades, master of none.
Mhm.
Oh, you spoke a whole word right there.
Well, thank you. But but yeah, they're like, you know, you gotta keep it going. And you could talk to that's why I go over compliance, because you're vetting them just like they vetting you.
Right.
Right.
The carrier gonna say, well, what can you do for me on loads? What you got? What lanes you got running? What's your rates? Oh, hold on, bro. I mean, how's your MC? Have you ever been late on a load?
Mm. Mm.
Have you ever been out of service? When was your last DOT inspection? When is your insurance expired? Have you ever
So,
been late on your
question:
insurance? Hmm?
your carriers, because that's one of the things that I did not realize when I first started dispatching. Um, because I think in my mind, I just thought everybody had a role, and I was basically relying on my carriers to know the compliance part of it.
Yeah, don't
And
rely on them.
so if they're not, I mean, in a sense, they're required to kind of know it, right?
No,
No,
mm-mm. They're a
so it
trucking
should be up
company.
to.
Like they're a trucking company, right? So, and he's a driver. He's driving. See, he's working on his company. He's not working in his company. He's working on it because he's driving. See, when you're working in your company, that's when you're gonna know the compliance. Only thing he did was knew what to do to get rolling.
Mm, okay.
You know what I mean? People, oh man, I want to get me a box truck. I want to get me a truck. I want to make this money. They do get like, all right.
Yep, and that's what I got, two of those.
And guess what? You gotta know compliance. See, when you know compliance as a as as a carrier manager, not a dispatcher,
Mhm.
when you know compliance, see now you can sit here and talk to them about it. Hey man, well, you got your tags up to date, and you got your IFTA sticker. Okay, if you're gonna run into New York, do you got your HOT? Are you going to California? Do you have your like right here? You see the West? You see West right here? You have your Oregon
Mhm.
permits. You have your curb. Do you have any of that so you can go into those states?
Mhm.
You know? See, when you learn that, and when you learn it and you learn it and you learn it, that gives you more strength to talk to the carriers to lock them down.
Mhm.
Cause you talk, you gonna, I guarantee you, after my training and in my classes, I bet you any amount of money you'll talk to a carrier that you're trying to recruit, and you'll tell him something that he don't know. You'll tell him
Mhm.
about four things that he do not know.
I wish I would have found you sooner. Spent all this money.
You know, but yeah, when you know these markets, right, and you know the compliance, you know the brokers before you even talk to the carrier. You know all this stuff. You're gonna know all this stuff. You're gonna know it
So,
all.
so talk to me about elaborate on this west part because I generally do not send my carrier that way.
Mm.
Uh, I think I've only booked one load to Colorado, and we basically stay east of that. So when you say um, the potato loads, I know the
Car.
California fuel is crazy, but what are the advantages or disadvantages of those things that you have listed there?
Well, the curb is basically part of the fuel tax. It's like an extra fuel tax, like IFTA, that's in
Uh,
that's in California, that you have to have a certificate for if you go into there. So you can get credit and counted for your fuel and things of that nature. It's
okay,
just their own separate tax. The
okay,
OR, that stands for Oregon. Oregon, you have to have permits to carry certain loads and to run into their state.
okay,
So that's another thing of knowing the region. Because when you know the regions, you got to know these states that you're running your trucks in. You may not have a truck over here right now, but you don't know. You know what
mhm,
I mean? Your dispatching company or whatever, somebody that ran into you and you sitting there and you like, hey man, and where you from? Well, I'm from Wyoming. What you been doing? What you been carrying? Oh, we mainly do livestock, but we was wanting to do something else. Well, how do you want to run? Have you ever had an accident? Ask a question. The more questions that you ask, the better you're gonna be off. So next thing you know, when you talking to a carrier, when you sit here and you tell him your rate, he better not flinch. And you don't flinch either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had somebody tell me my rate was too high. I said, well, I get that a lot, but I'm worth it.
Mhm.
I get that a lot. I'm worth it. Cause guess what? It don't. Cause a load, first of all, load's not completed. You don't have a load until it's completed. Until you get a
Right.
BOL. You don't have a load until you get a BOL.
Right.
So you get that BOL signed. Cause anything can happen within that. And trust me, I
Mhm.
dealt with a whole bunch of stuff. Accident, hazmat spill, and hazmat. I don't even want to go. Hazmat is 24 hours. You gotta go through training for that. You have a carrier that has hazmat, guess what? You gotta go through training.
Okay.
24/7. He on the road, guess what? You on the road. 2 a.m. he driving, best be up. You have to have protocols set up.
Mm.
Just like anything else. Just like the fire department. You go to the protocols. What you doing? Well, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. Driver has a spill, got to make a phone call. First call the cops. Second call, gotta call the dispatcher. Gotta set up the cones. Gotta actually block off traffic. The driver has to block off traffic on a
Wow.
hazmat spill. Stop traffic. You know what I mean?
And he does
So
this before the cops get there?
yeah, got to.
Oh wow.
So that's the training that you're going. You know what I mean? You, but only thing you doing, guess what? You building your value.
Yeah.
You
So I
building your
guess
value.
would you suggest that I order like a DOT compliance book?
I'll go over that with you
Yeah, I was
Okay.
waiting on that part too.
because all your information will come. Now I work with OOIDA. That's who
Mhm.
the trucker company, Uncle's Trucker Company, and everything. That's who we work with. OOIDA,
Mhm.
and with them, that's why I love them. That's where I got all my education from.
Mm.
Yeah, we pay
Okay.
for them to keep us. We pay for them to keep us compliant and everything. And guess what? I call Rachel all the time. If I don't know something, guess what I'm calling her. If I seen something that I read, guess what I'm calling her. Like
Okay.
I'm my trucking company's DER. Like I could fire my uncle if I want to. Like I do everything. I had to
mm.
go through training and all that good stuff. So yeah, I could. That's what you do. And if you have, and especially if you have these semis, ask your carrier. Hey man, you ever thought about getting a compliance company? You know what I mean? Point them in the right direction. Yeah, if you
What is
get with
that rate like?
huh?
What is that rate like?
What the rate for?
The compliance company.
Everybody has their own. Everybody, it breaks down
Like
in
what's the
price.
average? Okay.
It breaks down in prices of what you want. Like with us, man, we've been with them. We pay like we pay a good penny. We pay a
Okay.
good penny for it. Because when that comes up, and I also teach you how to to set up a driver. Because what if your carrier gets a new another truck, so you got to
Mhm.
help them with that. Hey, I'll help you with if you and if they have the compliance company, hey man, I help you with your compliance and helping you get your driver its piss test, all the information that you need, his MBR. The thing you're doing is building value when you know the
Mhm.
compliance. Because then, see, you won't be the blind leading the blind no more.
Right.
Because you can see you leading him. Hey, bro, you ever thought about doing this? Well, why would I need that? Well, this is why you need it. You can tell him why.
Okay.
So always think about that. All right. Now, knowing your rates. Every time that you make a call, you got to know the rates in the area. Because not only are you going to have the rates, not only are you going to do the rates, for you to know where you at. Now you can see the rates in that area where the broker sitting here saying, "Well, yeah, no, we've been running this for $2." You be like, "Man, look, y'all average rates in this area is $3.19, man." You can
But
talk to them.
that's for the semis.
Yeah, semis, but that's why I don't like DAT. I don't like the national breakdown on how they do it because they basically put box trucks in vans category two. They don't have they don't have power only rates, you know.
Mhm.
So that, like, to me, some of these numbers are skewed because you can have a power only, just a tractor, but you hook up to a van and that's considered a van when really it started off as power only, drop and hook. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's like, is it really? Is it not? But it is what it is. Because that happens with a lot of stuff. That's why they have power only. And that's why they call it
So
drop and hook.
so do you recommend a different board for box trucks?
The
That
best box
that's more.
the best box truck load, and I've been sitting out. I basically with Selectus. They had me feeling like that dude that's, standing outside the club trying to get in. I'm
Mhm.
sitting here acting like I know people that's in the club. Hey, that's Peaches right there, Peaches. You know, hey, Peaches. Hey, oh, you trying to act like you don't know me now? That's how I feel with Selectus. You know what I mean?
Selectors is expensive.
It's expensive. Like it keep people out, man. I've been trying to call them for 3 months. So I got up, gave up. But with box trucks, I really haven't been, I only got like two box trucks. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's like, all right, you know, and most of the time this is how much value I got. They sometimes book their own loads and I still get paid off of it. I don't get paid the full amount, but they give me like 25, $30 still.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I get paid when they book their own load. That's not bad.
And that's through Selectors.
No, yeah, well, no, not through Select. I'm talking about through my carrier, through my own
Oh,
carrier,
okay.
through my own carriers. The people that I dispatch for, when they book their own load, they still pay me
Why is that?
because I got a good relationship with them.
Nice.
When you build a relationship, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to stop them from doing it. What if they came across something? What if they came across something and then, you know what I mean? You came across something and theirs was a little bit better.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
So are you So when they book their own load, do you at least do the paperwork for them?
Yeah,
Okay, then that's
yeah,
why. Okay.
yeah. I still do. Yeah, I still. Yeah, I do the pay. Hey, man, send me the Raycon, man, cause I got to. Cause I got to. I got a
Mhm.
TMS. I got a TMS. I got to keep up with their stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got to keep up with it. Like when I say I'm full blown, yeah, I got. I know what my drivers do per mile. I know how much they make. I know all that stuff.
And what TMS system do you use?
I use Total Dispatcher.
Okay.
You know, I use that, and it keeps everything. Like my, yeah, let me see if hopefully it'll mess. I'm just about to go switch over to another to Ascend.
I heard about a sin.
Yeah, yeah, it's more because I'm going for my. I'm just waiting for my letter for my brokerage to come in. But like my rate per mile. I keep up. I keep up with it. To let you know
Mhm.
by region, Midwest, Northeast, South. It goes down in the South. It goes down in the South. That dirty, dirty. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it just gives you a breakdown. This is what you want to know. This is how you stay sharp. This is how you stay better. So when you got somebody coming up talking about, oh, you ain't making me no money, you sit there, you look at them, and be like, look, man, nah, bro, like, nah, you making 379 a mile. It's your average
Mhm.
mile. You know what I mean? Box truck, box truck. What is the system called again?
Total
Oh,
dispatcher. It's a
total
TMS
dis.
system.
Oh, snap! That's somebody in the group.
Yes.
Oh, snap! I ain't even know that, man. How you doing, Kennedy? Cause I got this on, I got this on, so I mean,
Oh,
I'm
what's
in.
up, y'all? I just been listening to y'all. I'm over here at the hospital right now, so I'm just kind of listening. But I
Oh,
seen you
sorry.
put this up, so I was trying to see what that was.
Oh, yeah. This is total dispatcher.
Okay.
This is total dispatcher. But this is something that this is another gym. You know what I mean? I'm about to get like a sign thing. Every time I put a gym in, I'm going to make a noise. But this is a gym. You know what I mean? This is something that can help you, keep up with your carriers. You know what I mean? Let you know what you're doing per mile. And the reason why that's, messed up, because this guy right here, this dude right here, he in Florida running the ports. So that's why his rate per mile is up there. So this is a little
Oh.
this is a little bit fluctuated, with my power
Mhm.
only. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But the numbers is real. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
see, this is what you do. You keep your TMS. So when next thing you know, you going for more carriers. They want to check you, like you already checking them. You sitting there talking to them. You vetting them. Tell them what you can do for them. Before you show them the numbers. Talk
Mhm.
to them about compliance. Talk to them about the markets. Talk to them about the rates. Talk to them about how you work with the brokers. And then boom, hit them with it. Well, what you getting for the drive van? Well, sir, my average is 414 on drive van.
Mm.
What about reefers? Oh, well, it's 379 there. Box trucks, the average $2.05. I ain't perfect. but I'm gonna
Mhm.
work for you. I promise you that. I
So you
work for
saying the
you.
box truck should be more than that?
It just all depends. See, like if you a box truck with if you a box truck and you have a driver or the carrier driver has twig hazmat, something like that, then you can go or a reefer.
Mhm.
Not now, get your mind out the gutter, not the good stuff. Okay, I'm talking about a reefer. Now I smoke a little bit of weed myself, and I was so and one day I was so into working, right? I was so into working that my uncle he comes to me sometimes for his girlfriend. He said, "Do you have any reefer?" I said, "Nah, I don't got." I was like, "Nah, I just booked them a load. Yeah, they going from Cleveland to like I forget where they was going." He said, "No." He said, "No reefer." I said, "Oh man," I said, "Man, hey, you got to talk in the other language now. I'm over here working. I'm talking reefer work, you
Right.
know."
I'm
So
talking transportation lingo.
yeah, yeah. So you know what I mean. You basically know it. You have
Mhm.
you want to have so much to talk about other than booking a load. You want to talk about
Yeah.
so much more. You want to talk about how you can help them grow, help them grow. Cause dispatchers like they come and go by night. They gonna get mad. Shoot, you know what I mean? People got mad at me. Tell me, well, you need to change your attitude and I'm like, all right, man. Look, only thing I'm doing is just working hard for you, doing the best I can.
Mhm.
You're gonna have good
Mhm.
days, you're gonna have bad days, but just don't panic. It ain't nobody's fault. It just ain't our
Mhm.
day. You know what I mean? It's
That's what I
really
was trying to get my box truck driver to understand. Like, we got to go with the average. We can't look to expect that every day is going to be this amazing top rate day.
yeah, it's not. I gotta get better. You gotta get better. Cause this is like I said, it's more than booking a load. You gotta know your driver.
Mhm.
You gotta know your driver. I'm talking about literally when he sleeps, it's like you have to calculate his sleep. You have to calculate, what he do, his movement. Be on him all the time. Hey, what's up? Where you at? Oh, I'm here. I'm just getting up. All right, cool. It will hit like you just getting up. So I know that he just got up. I know that he just got up at 6:30 a.m. All right, hit me up when you start rolling. Hit me up
Oh,
when you
that's what
start
I do with
rolling.
my driver.
And then when he starts rolling, he hit you up probably about. And then you take that time he hit you up 7:30 or whatever, and then you be like, all right, it took him about an hour to get up, get ready, get the truck started. All right, cool. So for next time, you know how to book his future load. See, everything that you do with your driver, and every time that you book a load with your driver, it's a different experience every time. Because you're going to a different place, and then see, I'm talking about booking loads and everything. You got to worry about hours of service. You got to worry about the ELD.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way just last week.
See, that's another thing that you have to worry about. Because you don't want to book a load, or he didn't got off a load. Then next day let's just say that you booked a load and it took him an hour to get there, or you don't know how long it's going to take from the unload, because when he's unloading, he's still on the clock. It don't stop. So then
Mhm.
you book him a load and it's about an hour away. You got to worry about that. Is then, when can you pick up? And then you got to worry about the hours that he's going to have left after the pickup time. So then he's gonna have to do a 10. So then the load that you just booked for him that he just picked up, you better hope that after he does his 10, he be able to get there in time and deliver it. So there's a whole bunch of avenues that you as a carrier manager instead of a dispatcher
Mhm.
that you have to factor in. His hours, see that's another thing. See, you didn't put that on top. So you mean that so like when you look at it, he's like, you mean to tell me when I talk to a broker to try to book a load for you, I'm gonna have to consider the commodity, the rate, the dimensions, the
Yep.
the hours of service, getting the load, booking the load, negotiating, the rate per mile. I'm gonna have to do all this stuff. That's too
Yep.
much shit, right? But that's what you do. That's what
That's
you
what it
do.
is. Yep.
That's what sets you apart from any other person trying to talk to a carrier to work with them. That's what sets you apart. That's what sets me apart. People, I get carriers that get mad at me. Oh well, it ain't working. All right, cool. All right, that's fine with me. I'm not going to allow you to stop my or mess up my process. Don't allow no one to mess up your process because this is what you do. This is your process. You're building a process and you're building a company and you're building yourself every day. You're developing every day. So why would you let someone, one carrier, ruin that? Throw a monkey wrench into your wheel. You know, like what I used to do to the girl I like. She was riding her bike and I throw a broomstick through her spoke. You
Ooh.
know, I liked her though. I had to get her to stop. You
Oh my
know,
God. Right.
had to get her to stop. But you know, I did that when I was about 8, man. I'm a gentleman now. But look,
Mm, mm, mm.
that's your process. Keep your process, and that's what I will show you. Because I have a process. I don't break it for nobody. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I have a process. I do the same thing when top to bottom. I check it, call the broker, I negotiate, I book the load, I get the rate con. If I had to sign them up, then I sign them up. I sign the rate con. Don't ever sign the rate con. Don't ever sign the don't ever set them up and put don't ever set them up and put your name on it. You always sign their name.
Right.
Don't ever put your name on their carrier setup packet with any broker. Don't put your name. You put their name. That's all their stuff. Now, when you get the rate con, you sign your name. You sign your name. You don't sign your carrier's name because you don't want your carrier coming up talking about, well, I booked that load.
Oh.
Ding! Another
Ding
gem.
ding ding. Got another gem.
All right. You always you always sign your name. You are the point of contact. Okay. But you want to keep up with this stuff because this is what you're doing. This is your building, and I like it because it gives you a little work. This gives you a little workflow platform and everything. You know what I mean? And let you know. And see, I'll teach all that top from bottom, so you can do it on your own. So you're not
Mhm.
a deer in headlights. You're gonna have more confidence to say, "I'm gonna go out and do it. I know how to do it." You know what I mean? I'm gonna go out and do it. That's why I encourage everyone to write stuff down. Take notes. You take notes, it's going to create muscle memory. And when you take notes, guess what? You're going to do a lot of writing down on pieces of paper. A lot.
Mhm. I do that now.
You're going, as
Can you
soon as you,
Can you put
Go ahead.
that screen back up for me?
Which one?
That one.
Put this one back up.
Yeah.
Hold
Thank
on.
you.
Oh, oh, like that.
Well, no, I was just looking at the platform workflow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, what's the
Thank
name? I
you.
do this.
You said you're
I
gonna
send.
send this, right?
Huh?
You're gonna send this, right?
Send what?
The link.
Um, the link to this video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cause I'm sitting here now trying to write. I got a whole notebook and a pen trying to write down everything, and I'm like, he said he was gonna send it. Slow down.
Yo, I'm sorry. If I'm moving too fast, please tell me.
No, no, no. I was saying I'm doing too much. I was telling myself to slow down. I'm trying to do too much at once.
All right. Now back to this. Now, like I was saying, always know your rates. These are your rates for your vans. Okay. And when you do research, and you can go to DAT, you can go to this DAT, and then basically you can get these. It's updated. They update it all the time. Like I just took these screenshots today because when I do my trainings, I like to be updated because I like to, be real numbers. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So they can see what the market's going on right now, opposed to, you know, seeing November 2020 or seeing November 2003. You know what I mean? Nah, that was
Right.
last month. You know what I mean? You want to always look at the load to ratio when you booking these loads as well. It sucks because they don't have damn box trucks. But if you go into DAT and you go power, then you can put box trucks in there or so.
Okay.
But you know, you always want to know that because you don't want to go somewhere and there's too many people.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't even like Christmas shopping. You know, I've been here for 10 years and I've never been to Dollywood. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Dollywood right down the street. Now my kids and my and their mom have. I
Mhm.
paid for them to go, but I ain't go with them
Because you
because I
don't
don't
like
like
to
that.
go with a lot of people.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. The only where I probably go to with a lot of people is to like sporting events.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. You know. But know the demand, know the capacity when you send in
Mhm.
your trucks. All right. Now, are you going to do this all the time? No, but this is something that's in the bag. This is something that's in your bag every day. Put something in the bag instead of money.
Mhm.
Put something in the bag instead of money. Because guess what? It's going to come. All right. This is, flatbeds. And I go over with flatbeds too. Like I go over all the equipments that you need, that you gotta know about. Box trucks, reefers, vans, tractors, hot shots, flatbeds, you name it. You name it. Cause I want my students to know I don't I don't want to send you into a war just knowing how to, shoot a gun and carry a dead body.
Mm.
I want you to be able to protect yourself. I want you to be able to know how to fight. That's the only thing they do in the army. First two things they teach you how to do in the army is to unjam your gun. So when your gun jam and carry a dead body. That's it. That's
Oh
the first
wow.
two. That's the first two things they teach you.
I just heard that a week ago. It was a guy randomly talking about that on YouTube. I don't know how I found that video, but for you to just say that again, that's crazy.
But yeah, that's what happened. I want to teach you. I'm going to teach you everything. Cause once you want to do it, guess what? You're gonna be like, well, shit, Montez taught me that. Yep, yeah, he taught me that too. And I know how to. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know how to set up. I know where to go for the information that I want. You know what I mean? I don't want people to be talking about, well, man, I didn't spend this money and I ain't learned nothing. I don't know where the hell to go. I don't know what to do. No, ain't not. I'm sorry, I wasn't raised like that.
Right.
Time. It takes a lot of time to do this because you're going to be building every day. It takes a lot of time. So don't waste nobody's time,
Right.
you know? But always know the demand. It teaches you to, you can look at the demands, for the flatbeds, for the reefers, and then it's going to tell you, and then, you can look at the market spots right here. Who was that said January or whatever? Oh, earlier, just a few minutes ago, talking about people
Uh,
was telling
Kia.
you.
That was me.
Was
Yeah, it
you
was Kia.
talking about people? Well, people say during these times, man, it's all messed up, man. It ain't good time for trucking, man. Look, it's always a good time for trucking, always. I watched my uncle make $40,000 in 1 month, and guess what? He did it with a power only. He ain't do it with no trailer. He ain't do it
What?
with no van. He ain't do it with no reefer. He did it with power only. But see, but but you want to know how we was able to do it? Cause we had relationships with somebody.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Through the so-called bad months, you have a relationship with someone. You build your relationship with the brokers, and you're consistent, cause you have all the power. Cause you want to know why you're so important, and this is how you grow. Cause every time you make a call to a broker, you're representing first yourself. You're representing the carrier that you're calling for. And guess what? You also representing the other carriers that you work for too, because you might go to the same broker for them.
Mhm.
So it's very important that whatever carrier that you're calling for to book a load, it's very important that y'all are together because one mess up with this broker, you could be messing it up for everybody else that's coming in that area or what he got or that could take what he got.
Mhm.
You don't want to be calling, you don't want to have something mess up with one carrier and then you call on a broker again and say, hey man, you know, are you doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing good. I was just saying if you got something. I seen that y'all got something posted, man. Then last time, man, but that was another carrier. But that was through you though.
Right.
See how important that is? Now you can't go to this broker that you got a damn truck sitting that you could get him a load, but your other carrier messed it up, and now your name tagged to it. It's very important. This is very important. That's how you play. It really calls. You gotta realize that you want to know what carrier managers are slash dispatchers. I hate that word, but you want to really know what we are? We are some overpaid paper pushers. are
I don't know about overpaid because
overpaid.
I'm 24/7. Like my carrier will wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
You got to do that.
I know. That's why I say I don't think over. I don't think we're
No,
overpaid.
we're over. Well, I feel that I'm overpaid for the stuff that I do.
I think you feel like that because you're so comfortable with it and you have a system, so it flows for you. And right now,
Pretty
I'm
much.
picking up pieces and just learning as I'm
Yeah,
going, so it
but
seems a
guess what?
little more difficult for me.
But guess what? That's what I'm here for, to help you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get to yours. I'm gonna get to your status. No, no question.
Exactly. I'm here to help you, so you
And
can
I
have your
appreciate it.
confidence. So you can have your confidence. So you can know what to do. So you can know what to say. So you can know how to do things. And
Hmm.
then you do it. And then you gonna realize, damn, Montez was right. We overpaid. We do a lot of stuff. We do a lot of stuff. But guess what? We gonna be overpaid for, because we're getting what we want.
Right.
We're getting what we want. But these are some things to know. You know, the rates and the markets. You know what I mean? Know your rates. It helps you. Helps with getting better with rates with the brokers. Like I said earlier, the more you know, the more you grow.
Hmm.
The more you know, the more you grow. Just know your rates. Know what the market is in that area. Know where know what goes on in that area. When you know these things, everything that you know will always help you with negotiating. They give you enough confidence to ask for that 25, that 30, with the semis, that 300, 500, sometimes 1,000. It's going to help you. That's all. And then the more that you know, the more that you're getting knowledge of it, it's just going to help you talk to the next broker. That's all. I'm here to prepare you, because I don't want people to start off like I started off when I started calling, and then next thing you know, I'm calling, I'm all right, yeah, oh, oh man, I didn't ask that question. Man, I should have asked that question. Or you book a load and you hang up, and then you forgot to give him your email so he could send you the Raycon or the carrier packet. You're like, damn. Then you forgot his name and extension. You just booked the load. That happens. But when you have a step by step, you just know what to do. Now all this stuff comes natural to me, especially when it comes to carrier setups. Hey, like I'll mess with a broker now if he have a PDF where I had to upload it to my PDF filler and type it in. I'll be like, man, y'all in ice age, ain't you? Come on, man. I want to go through my carrier setup or RMIS. I want to go through those. You know, DAT or onboarding, so I could just click, 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 upload.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. You got me.
I know.
You wasting my time now, Mr. Broker.
I just did that. And I thought it was just me. I was so annoyed. I'm like, I cannot believe he just sent me this file for me to upload, edit it, fill it out, send it back. Oh my God. So I was warranted for feeling that way.
Okay. Well, Kennedy asks about trying to find their first client. All right. Well, finding your first client, like I was explaining earlier, is basically knowing everything. Not knowing everything, but just knowing what to say to that client. Because you want to be able to answer some questions when he asks them, you know? And that's what I help teach before you even talk to, you know, a carrier. Like I teach all this stuff before I tell people and I show people how to talk to a carrier, finding a carrier. I teach you. You see finding a carrier, that's slide 66. You ain't gonna know about talking to a carrier, through my class till about 2, 3 days later. That's when we're gonna go over it. Cause talk to a carrier, you just don't want to be talking about, oh, just the lows. You want to be talking about these things, you know. You want to be talking about, you know, the peak season. You want to talk about the northeast if he's in the northeast. You want to be able to talk to him about that. You want to talk to him about flatbed if he has a flatbed. You want to talk to him about this information. Research this information so you know what you're talking about and you know what to say. So you can be on his lingo. You could be on his level. Even though you want his business, you could tell him a lot more. You could tell him a lot more about the equipment. Oh, you driving a box truck? Okay. All right. What's your max capacity? What's your dimensions? Because you got to watch dimensions. So some of them's 96 inches height, some of them's 94 inches height, some of them's 87 inches height. What about the width inside? Some of them's 102, some of them's 96, 94. You want to be able to ask those questions when you're looking for that carrier, you know? Now, there's a lot of ways that you can look for a carrier. I give you a ding, Jim. Okay. You want to find carriers? There's a little, go to the FMCA site right there. Public carrier list. Go in there, hit search. Whole bunch of MC numbers. But when you do it, I could tell you to do it. I could show you. I could show you to go to the truck stops, do what I did, make little flyers, get some donuts or some food or something, you know, make get about make about 10 sandwiches. You know what I mean? Get you 10 sandwiches and like you go down to the Kenjo down here and they got these little Snapple apple things and then they two for $1. So you can get you 10 sandwiches, put two, put a drink in there, go to the truck stop, man. Hey man, how you doing? Well, my name is Montez. I was just, my my Uncle Trailer right there, but I'm around. I dispatch. Didn't know if you need anything or oh you don't. Well, if you don't, here, take a sandwich and a drink. It's hot out here. You know what I mean? Meet drivers. Ask them questions. Hey, what kind of truck you driving? Oh, a Cascadia Frontliner. How many speed is it? 13, 10, automatic. Okay. How long you had that? What year? How much you pulling on it? Like, what's your max capacity? Ask questions. This is how you find them. This is how you find them. Being yourself, one, and knowing how to talk to them. Talking their language. Find carriers through newsletters. You be like, how you gonna find carriers through newsletters? Well, when you find carriers through newsletters, you get information. You get information. Sign up for the newsletters. Because when you sign up for the newsletters and you get the information like this right here, Overdrive, look, they're giving you information right here, very important. Boss steps down. You just click in there. You just click in there. Trucking sites. Subscribe. Get the information. So when you have that information, you can talk to them. That's how you go about finding carriers. On your Facebook page, instead of saying that you're a dispatcher, instead of saying that you can find you loads and you're looking to work for owner operators and carriers, why don't you take a content? Why don't you take some content from the email that you just received? Just go to there, copy the link, and post it in the group. Post it on your page. They'll come to you. It may not come. It may not come today. It may not come tomorrow. But it's gonna catch somebody's eye. You post content right then and there. Boom. So when you are talking to them, you know what I mean. You gotta be calm because they vetting you. You vetting them as well. You gotta have a healthy business relationship with this person because, like I said, y'all partners now. Y'all gonna be partners. I just realized that I didn't spelled that wrong. Ain't that something? But but that's what that's what you're doing. Because remember, anyone can book a load. Just remember that. Anybody can book a load. Well, the best way that you can stay in tune, you know, within the market is always paying attention to it. You know, like I get fascinated for some reason. I feel like I'm a little kid. Once again, because when you was little, you see the big tractor, you see the big truck, and you be on the bus or you're in a car and you put your arm up and you get him to do you chug it up and down so he can pull the horn. You know what I mean? You be like, honk, honk. You're like, yeah, do it. You hear honk, honk. That's how I am now because I pay attention to it. I pay attention to, I pay attention to what's my surroundings. You know what I mean? Like I was saying with the newsletters, you go to you subscribe to these newsletters. It'll give you the information. It'll give you the information. You know what I mean? So now, like, what if you just sitting down and you got one trucker sitting there talking about what Biden doing. You know what I mean? Do y'all know about that? Hey, remember I just told you OOIDA
Yep.
right there? That's who I work with. That's my compliance people. You know what I mean? The boss nominees leaving the post. That's real big right there. This is how you can stay in tune with it. Gives you more to talk about. Giving your carrier and your prospect information that they probably don't know. So when you know the information before you step in the game, guess what? You good. Everybody has a game plan. Then you want to ask the questions. You know, how old is your MC? How long you been driving? Have you had any accidents? You have a trick card? Then you break it down, build rapport. Where you from originally? Oh, I'm from here. Oh, okay. You know, I got a sister, cousin, uncle that live up there. Then you get serious. When the last DOT inspection? Have you ever been out of service?
How frequently are the DOT inspections?
You never know, man. DOT, like sometimes you gotta do it once in a year. You gotta do it once a year voluntarily. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But hey, they it's like they pull up on you. You know what I mean? It's like DOT is a gang, man. They from the hood. They pull up on you.
Okay.
They could shut you down. You wanna know why they could shut you down? Because you're not compliant. I would suggest DAT. DAT is very frequent, you know, and most of all the low boards um are, you know, update with the markets and things of that nature because now they're all competitive. Before it was like a big secret, you know. So now since all the markets is competitive, you know, all the low boards and everything's competitive. You can get information off, you know, DAT, truck stop, trucker path, um, truck points, you know, things, you know, sites like that. So you can get a lot of information. You can Google, you know, information that you want. But most all, you know, I pretty much go through that with with all my training and everything. Um, but this is another thing. This is the main important thing right here is building rapport. You know, just building rapport. You building rapport with the carrier, the person that you want to talk to. You're building rapport. You know, ask questions outside of trucking. Catch them off guard. You know what I mean? So that's what you should do. You know, you're selling your services to do a job. You know, so you gotta work as twice as hard. You really got to work as twice as hard. Selling your service, building the business. You want to be in business with them. You know, let them know you're hungry. Don't let them know. Don't show starvation. Don't let them know that you're starving. You want to eat. You can eat with a piece of bread. You can get a piece of bread and eat. You know what I mean? You get a piece of bread and eat. Don't need the whole thing. And then you carry your packet. About to throw y'all gym in here. Okay. Now, any of y'all made a carrier packet? I mean, a carrier agreement yet?
Yes.
I
Huh?
have one. I have
We did
one
not
from
make a
the
packet.
training that we took.
I have.
They sample one, but I haven't completed one. That's really what I've been waiting on. Somebody to talk about paperwork. Everybody's
Oh,
missing. So you right on.
oh. Well, shoot, I got a whole thing on paper. Paperwork is his own class, honey. Let you know that. I'll let you know that right there because you gotta get that paperwork right. You know what I mean? But your dispatch agreement. Here's a gem. You want to protect yourself, okay? Always want to protect yourself because when you are working with these carriers, when I keep saying you are in business with them, you just became a CEO because you're getting a percentage of each of their load. So you got to protect yourself. And what I mean about protecting yourself, you got to protect your hard work, the work that you are putting in to help them be successful. You have to protect yourself. And this is how. Carrier and dispatcher agree that dispatcher, at great expense, has developed a broad customer base of shippers, receivers, and brokers that is essential to the successful operation of his company. That's what you're doing. Shippers, receivers, and brokers. Remember that. Now this is what I like right here. During the term of this agreement and for a period of 2 years from termination, meaning that if they say I don't want to work with you no more, you say, okay, that's fine. Carrier should not directly or indirectly solicit or do business years from its termination. Carrier should not directly or indirectly solicit or do business involving transportation or of a warehousing nature with any of the company's customers who are serviced by the by the carrier as a result of this agreement. Meaning that you leave me, okay, cool. You can't work with anybody I set you up with or work with you with for 2 years.
Oh wow.
Remember when I said I had 17 trucks?
Mhm.
Now I got 8. I'm
How
protected.
would you know though?
Does. All thing you have to do, shoot, I can look up anything.
You ain't gonna drop that gem on us, huh?
You look up anything, honey.
By the
You can
MC
follow up.
or
You can follow up. You can follow up with anything.
that's a
But you
very
protected.
broad statement.
You are protected. Protect yourself at all times. It's just like boxing. Keep your hands up. Because if you don't think a carrier will drop you like a bad habit, you're thinking wrong. Always protect yourself. You know what I mean? Got to protect your value. Now, carrier information. Okay? Carrier
Okay.
information. Just don't think that you need one, like the W-9, the notice of assignment, the letter, and certificate of insurance. Please do not go in thinking that that's the only thing you need. You need a lot more information than that. And here's some of it. You're gonna need a lot more information. You're gonna need to know their insurance, their factoring. You're gonna need to know about their truck. You're gonna need to know their driver name if it's any. You're gonna need to know their EIN number, their birth date, their DOT number as well. And sometimes you're gonna need to know their social security number. Ding. Protect yourself. You have their social security number, you have their DOT number and their MC. So you may have a carrier that don't want to pay you. You're a business. You always gotta get. If you did hard work, you did the work. They don't pay you. You have to take steps to get your money. And affecting their MC and their social will hurt. Don't want to do that. Carrier 411. You can complain on your carriers.
That's a such thing. Area 411.
You can complain on your carriers. You can, if they ain't paying you, you can do it. Cause guess what? It's out there. So protect yourself. But this is the information that you're gonna need because they basically give you the permission to have it once they sound the power of attorney because you are representing them. So why not have all this information so when you go working for them and you're in business with them and you signing them up and getting this information, then you know it. You're not going to know only going to need to know that for the brokers. You're going to need to know that for the company. You're going to need to know the driver's name. Like, how do your driver drive? You're going to ask more questions. There's a lot more information than basically, all right, get in the truck. All right, you drive. This your number. All right, make sure you accept trucker tools. All right, cool. Like, you're going to have to know more information. Get as much information from your carrier so it can help you build a good carrier profile for them. All the information. You know what I mean? You're going to ask all kinds of questions. You know, what lanes do you prefer? Where do you prefer to go? You know, how many miles do you drive in one day? That's very important. How many drive? You know, in a 10-hour period, how many miles can you drive? Do you take any breaks, or do you drive 10 hours straight? Do you take your 30 minute, or do you take two 30 minutes? Do you take a sleeper berth and split that up? You got to know all that. You doing regional over the road? Do you drive in the mountains? Do you go up? Do you go northeast? Do you do the 11 western states? How long do you stay home? Staying home, you got to realize staying home, it hurts. That's going to be a week that you can't have two, three trucks not running them. You got to manage that. You can't have two or three trucks sitting at home in one week. That ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? So you got to try to manage it as best as possible to where you only have one truck a week. You know, rest of the week. All right, I can deal with one truck. All right, boy, it shoot. It killed me in October. It killed me. And then Thanksgiving, it killed me. Everybody want to go home for Thanksgiving. Yeah, none of y'all want to work. Ain't no, and y'all. So ain't none of y'all want to work, and y'all really want to take the four. Y'all want to take Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I have four trucks do that.
Mm.
Really? Because I run my invoices on Friday. So basically, Friday for me is a new week. I need you rolling. Do it work out like that? Nah, not all the time. But best believe, mm-mm. But that's what you gotta, to stay at home time. Pay attention to it. You already know. Ask them how long they can stay out. These are questions that you're going to ask your carriers. So when you're recruiting them, see now, you want to learn. You already know how to talk about the markets. You know how to talk about compliance. You know how to talk about, working with the brokers. You know how to talk about the rates and the markets and stuff. So now here it is. It's real easy peasy to where you just asking questions, getting to know them better, building that rapport. You can do that. And then carrier setup, you know. See, I go through the whole thing. Rate cons, I show you how to read rate cons. This is literally my a rate con that was just recently. That was the 15th today. That's 5 days ago. Rate con right here. That's my e-signature. I teach you how to do this, to read that, because this is very important. Then I have a process. This is my process I do every time. Broker email me the rate con. I view it, make sure it's correct. I download the rate con to the computer. I upload the rate con to PDF filler, sign it, date it. After I sign and date it, I re-download it back to the computer. Have to go. Yeah, okay, no problem. You take care, Kennedy. But you know, I re-download it back to the computer. But when I save it, okay, I save it. I put the broker's name first. I put the load number. Then I put the carrier's name and date so I can identify it. And then send the sign rate com back to the broker, carrier, and driver. If you can send it to the driver, then send it to them. But if you can't, don't send it to them. Some carriers don't let their drivers look at the rate com. But that's the process. That's the process. And then I put it into my TMS.
Quick question. Like when you guys started on the dispatching side, did you wait until you had more information or did you just kind of go for what you know?
Hold on, I didn't. Hold on, honey. Hold on, real quick. Hold on, real quick. Sorry. All right. Well, it got me froze, don't it? I've been like that the whole time.
Yeah, you've been froze.
Oh, but y'all got to see the screen though.
Yeah, we saw
Yeah,
everything that you were doing, but your face was just
your phone froze.
Oh,
froze.
I know y'all was like, look at this mugly looking. Well, what was you saying, Keita?
So I was saying, like, when you started on the dispatch side, did you
Hmm.
wait until you felt like you had all the information, or did you kind of wing it as you went along?
Nah, I basically learned the information first,
Okay.
cause when I got into it, all right. See, my uncle had a trucking company, M&H Trucking. So when I got into it, I was basically coming under him. You know what I mean? And like it basically the trucking industry saved me. All right, it saved me. But when I came under my uncle, he's telling me all this stuff. He like, yeah, we could do this, and he's like, well, I want you to, I want you to go to clearinghouse. I want you to, go to FMCSA, OOIDA. He's telling me all this. He's telling me all this stuff that I need to do, and I'm like, hold on, bro. I gotta learn this stuff first. I gotta learn the steps. I gotta learn the lingo. Because he was wanting me to recruit drivers. You know what I mean? Instead
Right.
of instead of dispatching for him, he wanted me to recruit drivers to put under our authority.
Okay.
Mm.
How the hell I'm going to put anybody under our authority? I don't know what to do. So I start researching. I start joining all the truck groups, and then next day, I'm seeing everybody, looking for owner operators. Dispatchers looking for owner operators, but people looking to lease on and things of that nature. So I'm looking, and I'm like, well, I got to learn this stuff. I got to learn the differences between the percentage that somebody wants and what we get. I got to learn how they're going to get paid. I got to learn about fuel cards. I got to learn about compliance. I got to learn about how to put somebody under our authority, going to 10 tap or going to get their tags through IRP, setting up their IFTA. So yeah, I like before I even I did like 7 months of research. I'll tell you this, I really didn't start. Like I did all my research and I really didn't start getting into it until July. And see, I went through a process through that because at that time I was like looking for owner operators to put under our authority. Then next day, that wasn't work. I was like, well, let me drive a truck. I could dispatch myself. Just let me drive a truck. Next
That's
day,
how I feel.
so next thing you know, I was all like we went to Lebanon, Tennessee, and when we went to Lebanon, Tennessee, we was gonna get a box truck, but it had air brakes. That's what we doing. We calling OOIDA. Hey, do you need an endorsement for air brakes? Yep. So how would I do that? Well, you need to do a CDL. You can't do a separate test. So I gotta get my seat. Shit, I'm gonna go drive a big truck then if I got to, man.
Right.
Right.
Hang up the phone. Like, man, like Rachel, why'd you tell me that? You know what I mean? Like, my uncle, like, well, I ain't doing it. I ain't putting you in that truck. Like, fuck. It's like, man, I was pissed off. I was all like, man, let me do this dispatching thing. Hell, shit, I can sit at home. I don't have to do nothing. Let me do this dispatching thing. And that's what I did. Because I went after dispatching. Now I know I know how to talk to people now. It was easy for me. Now I came into this business. I call it like being a rich kid. You know how them entitled rich kids and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
silver spoon. We call them silver spooners.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I was in the trucking business. I had my uncle that been in it for 30 years and said, just here, this is how you learn it, whatever. You know what I mean? Silver spoon. The only thing I had to do was retain information and be myself and know how to talk their language. I already know how to talk. I know how to negotiate. I know how to build rapport with people. I know how to do all these things to be a successful salesperson. But I didn't know anything about trucking. So I had to learn it. So I'd be able to talk about it. And once you learn it to talk about it, you finding carriers is gonna be easy because you're gonna be sitting here turning carriers down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, it's not the finding of the carrots, it's making sure you understand what you're doing. Because I don't
Exactly.
like to play with people's time. I don't play with people's time or their money. So I'm like, before I try to jump into this for a quick dollar, let me make sure I understand what I'm doing because this is a lot of responsibility.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because
So
you gotta realize.
for me, I jumped in it not for the quick dollar, but just because I had a real interest in the industry, but did not realize until after I jumped in it that it was so much more for me to learn.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna
But
happen.
at that, yeah, but at that point, I was already in it and had a carrier under me, so I had to just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what I will always suggest. That's what I basically teach. That's what I teach. I don't want see people shouldn't go out here unprepared. You know what I mean? And when I got into the car business, I always compared this to the car business. But see, when I got into the car business, I didn't know nothing about selling cars. I know about selling stuff. I'm from the streets. I'm a hustler. Sold more
Mhm.
stuff than sold a lot of stuff in my time. So they taught me how to sell cars. They taught me how to sell cars. I had to learn how to sell a car, how to present the car, how to talk about the car, had a script.
Mhm.
So I took that same following because I didn't talk to a customer for a month. They didn't even let you on the they didn't even let you on the car lot for a whole month. Okay. They didn't even let me on the car. They didn't even let you on the car lot. So that's how I felt with the trucking industry. I had to take a step back and learn something before I could do something. That's what you have to do. That's what you're going to, go through all the time.
Mhm.
Anything that you do in life. It's all like you're going to go through training. Like even McDonald's got training,
Right.
you know what I mean? Hey, yeah,
But I
we're going to train you on fries right now,
but I
you
think
know?
a lot of the times that us new carriers get discouraged, or new dispatchers or carrier managers get discouraged when, well, not me because I have tough skin, but some of the others that I've seen, if they post a comment or question and you have, the tenured people saying, you need to figure out what you're doing, just being real, discouraging, it kind of makes them just tuck their tails and run. But they don't
Mm,
understand, like, you was not born with trucking knowledge when you came out the womb. So you started somewhere too.
exactly. Hmm. And it's always stay confident. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's always stay confident. It's like when you choose to do something. Hold on, real quick. I gotta get me a drink. I'm sorry. I got a kickstart.
Okay.
All right. Like when you say that you're gonna do something and you want to do something, you know, you have to be all in.
Mhm.
You have to write it. You have to write it down. When I say write it down, when I tell you when I tell you to write stuff down, I'm not, I'm not kidding.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
That's what my
Get,
notebook
your,
looks like.
get yourself a journal. You get yourself a journal. You write down your thoughts. You write down what you're gonna do, so you can stay consistent for what you want to accomplish. You're not gonna get nothing done being 60% in, giving 60% of yourself. You're not gonna get anything done. You gotta give
So what
100.
at so at what point did you say I'm comfortable now to step out here? Because there's still a lot to learn, and I'm sure you still, even after you started, you still realize, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know how to handle that. But at what point um did you say, okay, I can do this?
In July, when I said I'm ready, what I felt like I got all the information in July, I start like it's like I'm less than a year in this.
Oh wow.
I'm less than a year in this.
Oh wow.
Okay. Now, I'm less than a year in this, but I'm 3 months making money with it.
Mhm.
I started making money in dispatching in September. In September, I went through trial and error, looking for, when I decided that I was going to be dispatching, it was around August 20th. So I figured, you know what I mean. The only thing I'm doing is searching. I know how to talk to them. I know what to
Mhm.
say. I know what to do. Now I just got to find somebody to talk to. That's it. I'm going to truck stops. Going everywhere. I'm planting little seeds on Facebook. I'm looking and seeing who needs a dispatcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Squinting my eye. You know what I mean? Like that nosy neighbor. You know? That's what I was doing. That's it.
Okay.
I was going in groups, being a fly on the wall.
That's me.
And then next day, I found a cut. Oh, mm, there you
Mhm.
go. Okay, there you go
Yep.
too. You know what I mean? So
That's how I found my two carriers from Facebook, just simply posting. And then
yeah.
you have to stay active because you don't want somebody to see your post and say, "Oh man, what was that girl name? I can't remember," because it's a lot of other people posting after you. So if they got to
Hmm.
scroll 20 minutes to find your post and never find it because they can't remember your name or what you said, you got to
Uh,
stay consistent with posting things and being relevant in the group so that your name and your face, and they're like, you know what, I mean, even through the post, I had people just reach. I get so many private messages and I'm brand spanking new.
see, see. Only thing you need to do is know how to put it together. You need to find it.
Yep.
Put it together. Find your niche.
Mhm.
Build a process. You do
Yep.
that, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I can see if you already got 8 trucks and it's only been
I was just saying the
three
same thing.
months.
What was that, Keita?
I was saying the same thing she just said. I was thinking it in my head. She just happened to say it.
Oh, like I said, I had 17 at one time.
Mhm.
I'm narrowing it down.
And it's just you, right? That it's
Yeah,
just you handling everything.
yeah, it's just me. I tried to hire somebody, but they couldn't do it.
Handle it.
They couldn't
Yeah.
handle it. Try to hire two people, and I wasted my time with them.
Mhm.
You know, with me. Shoot, I got it. Man, I got phones, okay? The meeting that we having right now, that's connected to a whole thing where, if I hire somebody, they got their own extension. This ain't no game.
Okay.
This ain't no game. When I say that this is a responsibility that you have to take care of, you have to nourish it. You gotta let it grow.
Mhm. Mhm.
You gotta water your plant. You gotta water your plant. You gotta water your plant if you want to get the good weed. I mean, get a good
Uh.
rose. Know what I mean? That's what you gotta do. So you're gonna be building in the process. Everything, everything that I did, everything that I was doing, I basically was building everything all the information that I got, I bookmarked it. The internet, bookmarked it,
Yep.
printed it out, saved it,
Yep.
made a folder for it, put it in the folder, download it, put it in the folder. Know what I mean? That's what you're going.
Mhm.
That's what you're going to do, so you can retain all this information. So if something come up, you be like, oh well, I know where to go right here. Montez taught me that. I already made me a file. Let me go to it. You know what I mean? You gonna have it. See, you like just like you say, people get discouraged. You wanna know why? People get discouraged because they haven't ran into the right person that's going to sit there and teach them and show them.
It's exactly what it is.
Yep.
That's it. It's to show them. Like I'm very deep. I'm very, very detailed. I'm upfront. I'm transparent. Shit, shit, I might say a cuss here in there or whatever, but guess what? You gonna understand.
Mhm.
Cause I have passion for this. Like when I say this saved my life, it saved my life. I have passion for it. I appreciate it. I appreciate this because my life right now, or what I was going through this whole year, 2020, 2021, shit. When I started this, I'm telling people, hey man, I'm gonna be busy. I'll catch you next year, bro.
Mhm.
I don't go outside. I don't do nothing. I might go out once in a while. That's it. My
Mm.
highlight of the day is taking the sliding door, open that up, take my dog out. If she poops, get a bag, pick it up, put it in the trash, come back in the house, and give her a treat.
Mm.
Cause I'm in the zone. I see you. You got to see the vision, and within that 3 months of starting this, just the beginning of the month, I applied for my own MC to be a brokerage.
Ooh. Congratulations.
I already got my DOT number and my MC. Just give me my letter, please. White people, just give my letter. You know what I mean? I'm just
Right.
waiting. As soon as they give me my letter, shoot, I'm POC3, Shorty Bond.
Mhm.
Next thing you know, I'm calling my freight forwarder. Hey, hey Dan, hey Lou, hey Bill. Hey man, I'm gonna need about 5 loads from each of y'all a day.
Mm.
Oh, I got trucks. Oh, I got it. Just let me get five. Just let me get 5 loads a day. That's it. You know what I mean?
So
But
how does
love,
that work? Are you separating from your uncle now?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit went, yeah, some shit went down. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Stuff gets down. Business is business. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
it.
Right.
That's just it. You're gonna grow. I love my
Yep.
uncle to death.
Keep pushing.
You know what I mean? I love my uncle to death. But at the end of the day, there's sometimes where you say, "Man, I just want my own."
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I don't want to be asking you for money, man. I
Right.
feel bad. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
you ain't trying to pay me what I'm worth. Like, we both knew this day would come.
Right.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? But you just got to give me a little bit of the pie, but you don't want to give me a crumb. So we both knew this day would come.
Right.
Love you, bro. I love you. And
Mhm.
trust me, my uncle been there for me. You know what I mean? But when you talk about wanting to get paid, and then they say, well, every time you come to me, every time you come and ask me for something, don't I help you out? Don't I say, see, that's the thing, man. I'm tired of coming to ask you for something.
Mhm.
That's the thing. I'm gonna stop that shit. You know what I mean? That's it.
Mhm.
So yeah, like,
That's that hustle
yeah,
mentality.
yeah, I did my research, and within 3 months, I done developed enough carriers to have consistent income so it can get me an MC.
Mm. Mm.
Know what I mean? And
Know
see,
what
that's
you
the plan I was wanting to
mean.
do with my uncle. See, I wasn't even thinking about this. I was like, man, maybe a brokerage next year. But I was too busy trying to focus on building his company,
Mhm.
putting him through it. With Danny, you know, dude up in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Danny, man, you running containers 1,500 a trip. You make $4,500 a day.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Try to set my uncle up with that. Guess what? Yeah, all right, cool. Let me find my own trucks that could do it.
Mhm.
Know what I
Martez,
mean?
I'm gonna go get me a truck. I run under your authority.
You know? So,
Let's get this paper.
you know what I mean? And it'll come. It'll come. I promise you, ladies. It'll come. If you want to do the dispatching, retain information every time, every chance that you can.
Mhm.
Retain the information. Build your process. Build your process. Yeah, you know what I mean? You you gonna listen to what I say. You gonna take the information I give you. You're gonna take your notes. But at the end of the day, you're gonna make it your way.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna reinvent the wheel, but you're gonna make it your way. You're gonna make it a way that it's gonna set you apart from somebody else, from the competition. Because everybody's doing the same thing.
Mhm.
There's a lot of dispatchers out there doing the same thing, you know, even lowballing. Oh, I'll book your load for 3%. I'll book your load for 5%. Shit. That's all you worth. That's all you worth. 5%. Well, you book a $3,000 load, you're gonna get $150. No, Mm-mm. Now, everybody's going to be different depending on the rapport that you have, depending on the trucks that you have. If you have more trucks, then you may give a lower percentage on each of the trucks to load or whatever. But when you build your value, you got one truck, one carrier, and one driver, or whatever it may be, and you build your value. You're telling all this. You're telling, you're letting him know and letting them know all the information that you know, other than telling him that you could book him a load. You connecting with him. You talking to him. It's easier. It's easy. It's going to be easy talking about the money.
Mhm.
It's going to be easy talking about the money. Every time, every time somebody, a carrier want to talk about the money, I slow them down. Hold on, bro. I don't work like that because my price is going to tell you shit. That's what mine's going to do. I can't tell, you know what I mean? I'm a car salesman. I can't tell you the price now. I got to build rapport with you. I got to get you in the car. I got to get you to love the car. I got to get you to make sure that you like the car. I got to get you to, you know, feel the car. I got to get to know you in a short period of time that I'm talking to you. You know what I mean? I got to do all these things before we could talk money. That's how I was raised. That's how I came up in sales. That's what you're always going to do in sales. You're going to build rapport, talk to people before you talking about money. So then when you get them sit down, it's going to be easy because then you built value. You built value in yourself. You built value in your services that you presented to him. So it's going to be easier for you to talk about how much you're worth. And you're going to give him an explanation why you're worth it. Instead of saying, well, I could book you a load and I got this lane that's starting over here. Well, what if he can't even get over there? What if it's too much deadhead for him to get over there? When you build your value, it's going to go through the roof. That's what you do. You know what I mean? Anybody else have any questions?
No, you covered some good things tonight.
Well,
How do I sign up for like the additional help and all that?
the classes, okay. Let me go over it. Hold on, I got to share my screen again.
Okay.
All right. So my course of my classes, they're going to run for 2 weeks. Okay. Monday through Friday, 2 weeks. Now, during the day, if you have time, I'll be booking loads. I'm doing live calls because through my course, it's going to be like a class setting. Okay. Everybody's going to have participation. You're going to be role playing with another student. You're going to have homework because you're not going to end this course saying that I need to know what to do next.
Mhm.
That's not going to happen. So yes, you're going to basically be enrolling in a boot camp. Now, the classes go for 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks is basically one-on-one. I'm going to have a limited amount of students, so I'm going to be able to do one-on-one. If I get a little bit more, then it'll be, one on two, one on three, but it'll be in a small setting to where everybody can ask questions, get the information that they need. Like, it's funny how life works. I used to be in special ed classes, right? You know what I mean? And they always used to laugh because, when you're in special ed classes, it's not as many students in the class. Well, that's the
Mhm.
best way to learn.
Right.
So everybody could ask a question. That's the best way to learn. We're really not gonna get nothing done when you have 40 people in the class.
Right.
You're not gonna get nothing done. But at the end of all this, by the time that you're gonna you're gonna be able to do two things. You're gonna be able to either spread your wings and get your dispatching company going, or you're gonna be able to be with me when you have a platform. So I'm not only teaching I'm not only teaching the class, I'm teaching you so you can be successful on your own, and I'm training you so you can work with me. Either or. At the end of the day, you're going to have the tools and you're going to have the education to be successful.
Mhm.
So my classes will be for 2 weeks, starting on the 27th, 2 days after Christmas, on Monday, Monday through Friday. It's class. Classes is going to be from either 2 hours. This going on 3 since I've been on. Never know,
Mhm.
but we're gonna get the information, however long it takes. But this will help you because you're not just going through a training where I'm just telling you, oh, this is what you need to look for. I want you're going to learn how to do it. You're going to learn how to do it. So that's that is $250. I think I'm like the cheapest in the market right now. Um, and I have payment plan, 125, you don't have to pay the 250 up front. If you want to, you can. If you can't, then 26 and January 2nd. But they do have to be paid before classes that week of classes start. Time, time, depending on how many students enroll, because I want to see the best time for them as well, because everybody has, different schedules. I was looking probably from 8 to 10 at night, but classes is always going to be recorded. I rather students be there so they can ask questions. I look at it as when I got my real estate license. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I had to go somewhere and I was there for 2 weeks and took my test. And whoo, you get your license. You know what I mean? And come to find out,
Mhm.
what I'm doing is I don't really need a license because I'm an investor. You know, so I was like, well, I got a license for?
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's how I learned though. I learned something. In 2 weeks that I was there, I learned something. It cost me $375. I got a license that I could use, go work for somebody's brokerage, but hell, I'm doing real estate and I'm not even using my own money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using somebody else's money. I bought a duplex with somebody else's money and getting rent off of it. So, but that's what this is. This is basically going to help you do that because you want to know what you're really doing. You're building the business on somebody else's money.
Yes.
You don't own their truck. You ain't pay for their authority. You ain't paying the insurance. You ain't doing the IFTA. You're building a business on somebody else's money. How are you gonna handle it? What are you gonna do with it? Somebody just trusted you. Somebody just listened to what you said. How are you gonna protect it? Then you gonna learn it. You're gonna absolutely learn it. You know what I mean? Things that you would need is notebook, download you some maps, a quiet area, be on time, have a positive mind. And
Sounds
this
like
is
a plan.
this is real stuff. This is real stuff. Have a passion for it. Have a passion. Have it in your heart to want to help people. Have it in your heart that want to build with someone. And always know that you became a CEO as soon as they signed that agreement. You became a CEO. I'm a CEO of four trucking companies right now. And between the four, I have 8 trucks. 8 trucks between four carriers. And I'm CEO. That's a hell of a job. Responsibility. Just like you said, Keita. Responsibility. That's what it is. We got a lot. You're gonna have a lot of responsibility. And I'm
Hey, you
here.
send me the link so that I
Huh?
can. Is there a link I need to go to sign up?
Um, no. I mean, they will be when you tell me that you're interested.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah, you tell me that you're interested, and then I'll send you the link. Um, let me do this. Damn, that's what I should have did. You can write down my. Let me share my screen again.
Cause like I got all my paperwork as far as official stuff that has to be done, and I'm like, I just still need a little bit more before I just like completely just put myself all the way out here.
Yeah, let's see here. This is my. This is my. Yeah, I'll do it on this one.
And then just yesterday, I just paid for like another course. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You write down my email and let me know if you if you're going to do a payment plan, pay in full, or just let me know, and I'll send you the invoice. Did you get that? Did y'all get that down?
Yes.
Okay, cool. But yeah, just let me know, and I'll send you the invoice to you.
Okay.
But the paperwork, see, a brief thing on the paperwork. Paperwork is very, very important because it's it's more than getting a rate con. There's a process, and you got to be fast at it. You got to be fast at it. There's some dispatchers, like, and truthfully and honestly, like for me, okay, when I first started, all right, that moving too fast, I forgot to send the rate con to back to the broker and sign it. He like, you got to sign it. I'm like, sign it? Damn. And that was with my uncle's company, and I'm dispatching his truck.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta get the paperwork. You gotta get the paperwork right. You gotta get the BOL. You gotta get the Raycon, and just like I went over that process, get it, look over it right, because the Raycon has verbiage in it. It has all kinds of verbiage in it. You got to worry about if you late. There's some Raycons that if you don't send them in within 30 minutes, guess what? They're gonna fine you. It's right in there in the small print. And the small print. Always got to read the small print of these rate cons. Got to make sure that everything's right. Got to talk about lumper fees. Got to teach y'all about that. Y'all probably don't even know what a lumper fee is.
I know what it is.
You know what it is? See, you got to watch
Yes.
out for that. Detention. How many hours I'm going to have to sit before I get detention? And how long is y'all detention? On a Tanu, truck order not used. So, got to pay attention to the rate con. You got to sign it, send it back to the carrier. I mean, send it back to the broker, send a copy of it to the carrier so they have it on file, and you got to put it in your file. Put it in your carrier. You make a carrier folder. You know what I mean, of all the carriers that you have. You make them a folder, and you put it in there. And you put it in there all the time, every time. You repeat your process. So when you need the information, you got it. And then the BOL. See, that's part of the paperwork. Doing the BOL, got to make sure that it's signed. Got to talk to the driver. Hey, as soon as you get that BOL signed, send it to me. You got to send it to you. And then you got to send the rate con and the BOL, the signed rate con that you signed, and the BOL to the broker or to the factoring company. Whoever it needs to go to so your carrier can get paid to, which mainly it'd be the factoring company. If they got factoring. If they doing quick pay, then you got to send it to whatever the broker's invoice and email is. You got to do that quick.
Yep.
You can't wait on it. Got to do it real quick.
Well, I have to go, but this has
Okay.
been nice, Montez. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Yeah, I was gonna shut it down here too, but yeah, y'all just email me. Um, if y'all have any questions, just let me know. I'm always
Okay.
available. I'll probably might be doing another one on Wednesday. Don't know
Okay.
yet, but I'll post something.
Okay. Well,
All
thank you
right.
Okay.
so much for your time. I appreciate
No,
it.
no problem.
All right. Good night.
See ya.